We are live, everybody.
Getting old.
You're getting old, too old for this.
Getting old. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Sorry about all that noise that you're probably hearing from the microphone here.
You're moving it around. You got to get into the right spot, man.
You gotta get situated. You gotta be in the right skin, you know?
Yes,
So I always say, you gotta put your Christmas skin on. It's Christmas time, don't you know?
I was thinking, when you mentioned the skin, I'm kind of all over the place at the beginning of this episode. When you mentioned skin, I really thought of Men in Black. The alien, that gets inside like that guy's skin,
No, I don't remember. Wink. Good Men in Black. Because full of jokes today.
I loved that movie growing
nice
up.
And cozy. I did really love it. Also, there's something funny about when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Things seem less campy than.
This is true.
There's some people that know that term, some people that don't. You're in film, so you know.
Did you ever see the new Men in Black 3 or something?
No, I didn't. I heard it was.
I saw about half of it at my place of occupation, and it was okay.
Okay. Well, I was not too partial to watch it, I will admit. I don't know, like...
What are the reboots? I mean, so to be fair, I've heard the new Ghostbusters is very good. Have not seen it.
So another reboot of reboot?
Yes. Well, it's a reboot. Well, it's like a continuation, but they're also forgetting the last Ghostbusters, the one that was the all-female cast.
Yeah.
They're like pretending that one didn't exist, and they're making another one that is like a continuation of the originals.
Okay. Is it like the same people? No, they'd be very
they're in it. Yeah, they're in it.
Oh, hey, that's cool though.
Yeah, it's supposed to. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like one of their daughters or grandkids. I don't know, something like that.
I don't know. Bob Marley is he still kicking? Is he?
Bob Marley? I think he's been dead.
Has he been? Am I out of this?
I think my man.
Was he in
Bob.
Zombieland?
No, you're thinking Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. Bob Marley. Bill Murray.
Bob Marley.
New Ghostbusters. Didn't know.
Has been dead for some time.
Well, maybe he's a ghost.
Bill Murray is still living, and yes, he was the guy that was in Zombieland.
Goes to figure. If they're not 2D, I will not remember who you are or what you do.
That's
just,
true.
Just gonna say that. I don't know. But man,
New JoJo.
I
haven't watched it, but I'm watching any of them. But
you started it, didn't you?
No, we've not started it. I know. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Actually, I did watch the first 5 minutes. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. I just didn't have time to watch it at the time.
There's a trial for JoJo.
I've heard you guys talk about this, yes. But the vibes I was getting, I was into it at the beginning.
Okay. So. I mean, it's all like a grand adventure. It's basically, I hate saying this because everything is basically D&D if you think about it hard enough.
I think this has been an argument we've been making from the beginning of
that's the problem. You play D&D and you're like, this would be a great campaign. This would be a great D&D session.
Sure.
JoJo, particularly if you.
But if you think about it, at the end of the day, D&D is just a good story, and good stories are in lots of media.
Okay, I thought you were going somewhere with that. Oh, just like in the Ghostbusters in particular, they they play characters.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I was thinking Ghostbusters is not a great story.
It's
enjoyable.
It's a story.
I think that would actually be a fun D&D adventure.
Yeah, I guarantee you some people have done.
You know what? D&D doesn't have to be a great story as long as it's enjoyable and you're having a fun time.
Well, that's the thing I'll say about Pathfinders. I've been playing it lately, and it's legitimately not really about the story. Like it's kind of a mega dungeon.
I think it depends on who's running it, right?
Very true, but it just more often you're interacting with mechanics versus D&D, and we've talked about this before, so I'll keep it short. But D&D is just like theater of the mind until you run into a rule where you have to figure something out, and then you're like, we'll do it, we won't.
More rules light, yeah.
It is.
Because it's as we talked about before, it's one of those things. It doesn't have, there isn't a direct rules as written answer for everything. Well, Pathfinder there generally is.
Exactly.
So that's why some people prefer it, because it's like, I can point to this, boom, we have the answer. Well, D&D, it's like, I don't really have the answer, we'll just play it out, which can appeal to all sorts of different people.
But they both have the issue of, we'll probably just have to decide on the spot and look later, because D&D has like no rules, so it's hard to find the correct one sometimes, and it's vague. And Pathfinder has so many rules, it's hard to find the right answer, and it's vague. So you win some, you lose some, you lose all of them. I don't know. But in both games, no matter what you do, you have to have people to play, and those players have to have characters to be.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good that we have the discussion, because this is not going to be a D&D specific episode of Path. It's going to be tabletop RPGs, period. Call of Cthulhu, you got to make characters. I mean, a lot of these games, you got to make characters. And it can be tough.
It can be tough.
And oftentimes very debilitating at its worst.
Yeah, I've been dealing with a little bit of that
I
lately.
even have it in my notes
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
I
probably.
said take Braxton, for example.
Take Braxton for take me, an idiot.
Well, no, because we've been working slowly, kind of getting ready for our next campaign for the Dungeon Chronicles, our live play. And he's been workshopping his character for the last like month or so. And it's just now kind of getting to a tentative idea. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, I think it goes to show the struggles of creating there's a process that goes into it. And you want to be fun for the hours of time you put into it, and it's impossible.
And in his campaigns, well, it's a live show. It might be different, but typically they go on for a little bit.
It's impossible to know if it's fun until you use it.
Yeah.
So it's tough to, because I feel like you're locked in, right? It's pretty much.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to pivot, to change, to almost oftentimes impossible to do those things. But
yeah.
So where do you start? How do you get going?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the time, whenever your friend wants to play a tabletop game with you, it's, hey, I'm a big ass nerd. I know I've read this rule book 85 times.
Yeah.
You are my friends. I will subjugate you to this. You may say yes or no. You're going to say yes. Please make a character.
I have food.
Please
food. Come.
Little Johnny over there's like, oh, I've been watching One Piece. I want to be Luffy. I want to be able to stretch my arms in the game. I want to be able to do all this stuff. I'm going to act like him, do all this. Can I make him in your system? And then your DM's like, yes or no. It depends.
Probably not, I would imagine. Probably. It's not much stretchiness.
So yeah, but then you got real things back.
But I mean, that's a good starting point. Like I have here, I think there's two directions you can take when making a character. You can either start with the character concept, like an RP wise, and then take that into the mechanics, as in like write a cool character, then find mechanics that work with your character. Yeah. Or the other option would be to create a character mechanically within the system and then write the character around that. So you make something that's fun to play with, and then you
not to eat.
Yeah. And then you make your character. Yeah. Neither way I would say is right or wrong. I think it just really depends on the type of person.
It depends on what you want. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll jump in my case here.
Yeah, let's go with you.
So should we start back before Carrion or this time?
Let's start before Carrion. Let's take everybody back on like a history trip here.
Yeah, so I mean, I know what sort of stuff I love. We're looking through the player's handbook, and primarily I'm looking for things that resonate with me, not necessarily mechanics yet. So I guess that's the approach I took first.
Sure.
I see.
Well, you're a mechanic kind of driven person.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, character creator. I can be in there for hours, like for the physical appearance of it. So ironically, that takes first. Then it's the mechanics, and then it's everything else. So I look through and I'm like, human lame, elf lame, tiefling. Find that. So you just look through the system itself, and you de-identify with something. Is there a portion you want? And then when I find something I find appealing, at least to portray, I look at its abilities. So there's like a great filter for me of, do I like the way this looks and acts? Yes. Do I like its abilities? Yes. That's what I'm playing. And then we look through classes, and I've always just loved warlocks and contracts with otherworldly beings and the media that I watch and the other video games I play, and this kind of fit into what I was looking for before. So I was pretty fortunate. My mic's standing up. I'm fortunate in that way. But I was pretty fortunate in the fact that I was able to find things I did enjoy in the system, and I didn't have to make too many compromises. Fast forward to now, I've played Warlock too many times.
Yes, that's your struggle.
That's my struggle, but we'll get to that in a bit. I did run into the problem of, tome Warlocks, which is what I played in 5th edition. If you don't know about them, it's a boon you get from whatever patron deity, god, devil you worship. And it's one of the weakest options for the Warlock in the game. It's like a half wizard.
Right, it's going on my microphone over here.
He'll fix those.
There we go.
I think I actually know what the issue is, but... Yeah. Yes, he ended up being a great DM and letting me switch, but I still have the fear. Yes. I know he'll fix it, but when I'm making a character, I have that fear. I think that's a later note that he's got. So
it'll be tough to, even if, let's say you're midway into the campaign, the DM will let you pivot. It can be difficult to then find what you want to play. And then if that's not engaging, then having to pivot again, and then you feel like maybe you're not attached to your character and you're kind of getting pulled in different ways. Yeah. So yeah, I think it can create a lot of complex issues. And like I said, there's no right or wrong in which way you start at, where you go, what's next. But I do have a small little list here of things that I think you should maybe keep in mind when you're creating a character.
Okay.
Some options, some ideas to keep in the back of your noggin. First one I have here is to not be afraid to use characters from movies as inspirations, like you said before.
Almost every time.
Plays, stories, etc. Or maybe a way to simplify that can also be to use the 12 Carl Jung archetypes, which are the story type archetypes. The examples being the hero, like a Luke Skywalker kind of guy, or Harry Potter. The innocent, kind of like a Buddy the Elf character. The caregiver, Samuel Tarly from Game of Thrones. Or the everyman, which is like a Bilbo Baggins kind of.
Your human fighter.
Just kind of chilling. Yeah, he's just kind of along for the ride. Nothing's really special about him. There's a lot more. It's only 4 out of 12. But you can easily type in 12 Carl Jung archetypes. And you can use those as a way to, I wouldn't say to make your character just off that, because it can be very generic. And I can see people not really getting engaged there. But it's a good starting point. I think it's a good way. I mean, there's a reason these exist. Obviously, Carl Jung's a psychologist guy, so this is how he described people and stuff. But there's a reason that I would imagine, like, if I were a writer trying to sell my pitch to, like, a director guy, I'd say, it's like Luke Skywalker from that one. It's like if you take Luke Skywalker and Buddy the Elf and put them together. It's like these exist for people to talk about. You can easily make your character like that.
Go crazier and pick archetypes from Commedia dell'arte. The crazy zany and the Arlecchino and a bunch of other weird, pompous and bouncy. Like Pantalone, he always loves his pants. He's got a big gut and he walks around with pride and stuff like that. I don't know. You look up all sorts of character archetypes, but stick with his because they're probably a little bit more useful.
I think having something unique about the character is also a good way to, like, something to build your character around. Like, he loves pants, or he loves
pants. Do we need them?
He loves this very specific thing so much. It's almost like an obsession, and that can either be a boon or a weakness in a way.
What I'll ask is it okay to just play yourself?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Is it?
I think it
happens a lot for people's first character.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it happens a lot, sometimes subconsciously. I don't think people always plan to make themselves.
Also, speaking of ourselves, he's Ryan.
Oh, yeah, he's Braxton.
This is the Dungeon Crawl. We're going to continue with our discussion on character creation.
But I think, I don't think it's a bad thing. Because I think we're not all actors. We're not all, critical role characters and just get into our heads of the person we're playing. Our heads are always there, so we can always get inside our own head.
It's very true.
So I think it's not a bad starting point. I think you should at least, if you grew up in some small rural town in the southern Texas or something, maybe you should not make your character exactly like that. Grow up in some small rural town in the middle of, nowheresville. I think there should be more to it,
Yeah.
I think you can expand upon yourself. You're just this average guy, you're the everyman character, but there's one part of your psyche that you want to expand and make more exciting or something like that. Or I don't know, you can play yourself but add twists to it. You can even play the opposite of yourself. That could be kind of fun, like your evil twin character.
Yeah. The thing I'll say is it's easy to play yourself, and I definitely have done and continue to do this in every portion of every character I play. But like, genuinely think if your life was a movie and you were looking at yourself sitting at your computer scrolling through Twitter, like, your default mode a lot of the time, I mean, maybe you work in service and you talk all day, but is literally just you staring at stuff. These people are going on adventures. They're talking to people all day, all night. Maybe you're not a talker in D&D, but you're some tactician. You're like you're a lord at chess and you play people all the time. You're exciting. And I don't know, things like that. These people are living snapshots. We're going into snapshots of these people's lives and adventure, maybe an exciting, a sad, sorrowful, tragic part. And, you kind of got to play it up a little bit, even if it's a more toned down campaign, I would say, even if it's more somber and you guys are okay. Because there's moments where DM says, okay, here's a room and you've got blood covered on the walls and the big bad evil guy sits at the altar with the blood spewing out of it, summoning his demon. What do you guys want to do? And it's like an awkward Zoom call. Attack? Yes. It's an awkward Zoom call where everybody's like,
what do I do? It's like watching a car crash. What do I do?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like when your English teacher again says, "Hey, what does this mean?" I don't fucking.
Like the other day, I don't remember where we were. I don't remember what happened, but like I saw you fall or something, and I watched you fall in like slow motion. Yeah, we were like, it was when we went
Did
to
I fall
sushi
all
or
the
something.
way down? Oh, I tripped.
I can't remember.
But I didn't
remember,
like fall.
Yeah, I just remember I was there. I could have done something. But I was like, I'm watching him like fall. I didn't know how to react or what to do.
I know I can't trust fall to him.
My partner, my lovely girlfriend, a while ago, about I don't know, maybe a year into our dating, we were cleaning dishes in the kitchen together, putting up the dishwashers down, and she doesn't know the dishwashers down, and so she takes a step back. Just absolutely decked herself, completely falling onto the thing. And there were multiple spots where I probably could have dived in to like do something, but I'm just like watching this in slow motion for like slam into the dishwasher and then slam into the second part of the dishwasher. And I'm like, I don't know how to get involved.
Cracks under pressure, put it on his resume.
Apparently. And
wow.
so that's just like, as you were saying in D&D, if this were actually happening in front of me and this guy is about to sacrifice the poor peasant lady from town Jacksonville, I mean, I want to cast Eldritch Blast to save her, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God, he's about to stab her. What do I do?
What do I do? Okay. Yeah. So good example. We all have certain flaws, and you could amplify that by a ton if you wanted to.
It could be a fun character to play.
It could be a fun character to play. So
but I would say you definitely want to grow that part pretty quick because it could be tough to as a other party member to play with someone that's not really getting engaged.
Yeah. And people are complex. There's a lot of...
I just bumped it and it collapsed.
I think maybe tighten that little boy, the little screw on top. Is that it? No, he'll be good. He'll be good. His mic is falling audio only people, which we've just now found out again. You guys are sticking around. Thank you.
We just looked at Spotify. I haven't even looked at the Apple one.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh shit, you're right. Damn, son. Where was I going with that? Yes, people have a lot of things about their character in real life. Like you're multifaceted, you're talented, you're cool, you're a little sad, but in a D&D character, it's hard to touch on all those at once. So again, kind of hammering it home, pick a couple of character points to stick on.
Well, think of your favorite characters from movies and stuff. If you watch a really long, like soap opera or like Game of Thrones stuff, you can see fully fleshed out, like living people, but you oftentimes just see those snapshots and little bits and pieces. You're not seeing every little detail of their lives. So think about that. They're only getting the most important parts, not they're blowing up the really exciting parts of their features, not the really lame, no one cares about features.
All right, so you've been thinking about your character and what they're going to be and how they act, but what else is there?
Yeah, I do want to preface. So Braxton made it to my attention. I did not remember this. Our third episode.
I really remember this episode.
Our third episode of our podcast, way back when. None of you guys probably remember it.
Don't look at it.
Probably didn't watch it.
Yeah.
We made an episode about creating a character, and that was much more mechanic driven. We did talk about RP in it, but it was much more. We were creating a character together. Yeah. We were going through the player's handbook. Granted, it was D&D focused. We were going through and like deciding how we were going to make a character and what we were going to do and those type of decisions. This is going to be a little more free form. Where we're talking more about things to keep in mind, because I think that's a good episode of if you maybe a first timer, you don't know how to create a character, maybe head over to that episode. Yeah. This is gonna be more about you know how to make one, but you're stuck. You don't know what to do. Okay. Right.
Hold that thought, Ryan.
Seamless cut.
Magical cut. Nothing happened there at all. So you're stuck making a character.
You're stuck, yeah. So this is my number 2 thing to keep in mind. I made a list of 5 things. Ready? Okay. Ryan's 5 tips.
That's 10. Sorry, I'll put my hand down.
So number 2 is think about in the back of your mind how your character fits in with your party. And I don't think you need to know anything about the other characters, other players to do this. Obviously, it could help.
It really helps sometimes, but you're not always going to know everybody you meet.
Right. So you're going to Adventurers League or something. But I think what you can do is use the archetypes that we just mentioned. I think, how would my character respond to this type of person? How would my character respond to a Bilbo Baggins type of kid? Yeah. And kind of bounce off those. You don't have to do obviously all 12, but just have that kind of in the back of your mind. Again, archetypes are good for just quick, almost like stereotype little judgments, just to know how would I respond to this type of person? How would I respond to this type of person? So when you get with the party, you know how you're going to respond to the tiefling that goes out and touches everything that they probably shouldn't, or how you're going to respond to the rogue that goes out and steals every little thing, Yeah.
You don't have to come up with every single little thing, but there's some guides out there, acting stuff that I think I outlined in that character creation, or I think it was on an RP episode that we did.
Yes, we did something about role playing.
It's role playing in tabletops or something. Yeah. If you can find any episode about role playing, we've got a couple of like pretty decent stuff to help your character feel lived in and breathed in.
Yes.
This could be a good thing to check out as well.
And the second part I would say to this is still number 2, right? Don't make a character that doesn't work well with a group of people.
But you don't know the group of people.
Well, yeah, but as in not working well with a group of people, period. Like I'm the Han Solo loner kind of guy that doesn't want to be around anybody at all. I don't want to hang out with people. And if you do make a character like this, have the character growth happen pretty quick, because it can be really grating on the rest of the party members to be with someone that doesn't want to be with them. It's like, why are you even here? Go into the realm of creating your character of being someone that can work with another group of individuals. And if that means that you're an evil character that is with a bunch of good aligned characters, but you're not evil to the point of like killing everybody, you have specific evil goals that you can see yourself accomplishing with these people.
Yeah, and that's something you can figure out in like session 0 too.
Yeah.
You can make characters before this so-called session 0, a session where generally you set expectations for theme, story, content, anything like that, kind of rule setting and boundary creation. So you bring some characters before that and then filter them after this, which really can help you figure out, if you do want to play that evil character, how you can rework them and rewrite them to bring them in. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think evil characters and good. He's just sitting there. I think evil characters in like good aligned campaigns kind of get a bad rep. I think it can be very bad, but it sometimes can be good.
Ryan's gonna go get my cat. It can be sometimes be good.
Depends how you're playing.
It does depend on how you're playing it. Another thing Ryan's talking about is in our campaign specifically. We've had many situations for every single player in our home game that we've had for like nearly 6 years, for these specific group of people for 3 years. And there have been moments where each of us have just not like either been present or not interacted with the group that much, and we've brought it up and changed it. So while you can work on them after the fact, it's good to nip it in the bud before you go.
Nip it in the bud.
Hello, sweetheart. Don't go that direction. No. Okay, so that's number 2.
That's number 2. Yeah. Number 3, and this is, if you've ever done anything with film, theater, this is the question that's always on the actor's minds.
What do they want?
Yeah, what is my motivation?
Yeah.
What is my motivation?
I'm not rusty yet.
What do you want?
Yeah.
I think your character should always be driven by something, right? Even if it's something as small as like wanting to grab a cat or wanting to see the world, I don't know. And for our audio listeners, there's a cat in the middle of the camera right now.
It's kind of cute.
Just kind of chilling. So head over to our YouTube if you want to see the cat. But there should be something that's driving the character.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be something crazy. It has to be an intense, sad, tragic backstory, but it could be.
You don't have to be the Grim Wanderer card from Magic the Gathering, which is literally based off of that trope for Dungeons and Dragons.
Is it in this set?
It is in that set.
Nice.
Not this set. It's from the Adventures of the Farms or whatever, like the literal D&D one.
So I think just something, because I think it gets a bad rep of people feeling like they have to have that intense backstory.
Well, a lot of it is leaning into people of our generation having, a lot of angst and problems in their life, and they want to have a dark, angsty character. We're all like,
you can. I mean, it's okay.
You can definitely do it.
I think it's also there's a place for the character that just wants to go out and see the world or wants to experience X, Y, or Z. Yeah, there needs to be something. The cat's going right back.
You can set it back out. So yeah, the reason that a motivator or like what does my character want to do is so important is an example from a one shot I did. The Dungeon Master had written kind of like Among Us style goals. I hate giving that example because it's so modern and this trope has been around for ages, giving your characters a goal. But he wrote them in such a way that they interacted with each other really well. Like each of us was trying to work together and we didn't even realize it because we wanted similar things. And it works properly. I mean, say you're in a town and, there's good food. There's a bit of a fuss with some other guys that are fighting in the corner. There's a priest. Yeah. There's a priest trying to pray and hand out flyers for whatever he's doing and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And he looks really tired and poor. And then there's a barkeep that's like off their ass and they can't even serve everybody that's here. Depending on what you want, maybe you want money. You're going to try to steal shit from people because you're a thief. Or you're going to go up to the priest and see if he's got a quest for you. Maybe he needs help. Maybe you're just a good person and you don't want people to be tired all the time. You want to help. You're going to go maybe do a shift for the barkeep. It's a lot of little things.
You want valor and you want to go hop in that bar fight.
Yeah, you go hop in the bar fight. That's why I put that in there. So thank you. But this is what allows you to interface from the world. This is the plug that puts you in there and lets you react to something, you know? Yeah, that was a good tangent.
That was a good tangent.
Yeah, Braxton, let's go.
Yeah, so definitely think about that. And if it's a really cool motivation, the DM can work it into the plot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh my God.
Okay,
she just flopped on the ground. That's fine.
Nice flopping.
That's fine. Just flop.
All right, so that's number 3, everybody. Number 4.
Count them.
This is where Braxton's at.
Oh.
Though I don't know if this is what he wants to do.
Oh.
So if you're stuck, right? You've been working on your character and you're like, I hate this one. I can't do this. I don't want this one. And this is not really talking about mechanics, so I guess mechanics could maybe fall in this as well. Work with your other fellow players or the DM as well. Or I said earlier, you can kind of create some of these and work with your characters without talking to the other party members, know anything about them. But if you are stuck, talking with the other party members and creating characters to work with together, bouncing off ideas, characters already know each other. Obviously, you can bounce ideas off your DM as well.
Yeah.
That's what the DM's there for. But being able to work with the other party members and kind of breach that boundary, because everyone always says that getting past that awkward phase of the characters not knowing each other can be very annoying.
It is.
So already knowing each other, that could be very helpful. And maybe the other player already has their character built out. And you're like, okay, so how would my character know you? Maybe you're a mercenary. Okay, maybe we served in the same mercenary troop. Okay, we can kind of connect those together. It kind of gives you places to at least start.
Yeah.
So if you're completely stuck, that could be helpful, but you might not have the option to talk to your fellow players.
Yeah, and you can always try to reread the player's guide and stuff like that for
Yes, always helpful.
There's other sources like the Fizzbands, not Fizzband, Minsk and Boo. Like, holy
Minsk
shit.
and Boo did good. I'd also say, was it Tasha's that had the whole like live your life kind of stuff in it?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Tasha's was
Tasha's or Xanathar's, but they had like a whole live your life chapter that just gives you a bunch of roll tables to start thinking of ideas.
It was probably Tasha's. I'm not sure. But yeah, the spot that where is she? I don't know.
The cat's vanished.
Cats are, oh, she's in the chair. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly acceptable. The other things that are perfectly acceptable is being the situation that I'm at right now where I have canceled out all Warlock stuff. I need to play something different. I'm fiddled around the idea with a multi-class, and I've said, okay, I really enjoyed playing Samurai. I've had an experience with this. So in your case, think about a video game or other character type that you've played before. Sure. You're like, all right, I like this thing. The Samurai is a lot of fun, but it's a fighter. It's just a straight fighter, and you're going to be slish-slashing every combat where my summoner caster friends are going to be like, bing, bing, bang, I got a spell for that. I got a spell for that.
Yeah, you feel like you're not adding to it.
Yeah, so that's where I'm stuck. And then I found a race I really like, so we're sticking with that. Give my DM a lot of stuff to work with. He's literally, Ryan just said, I'm going to write about this now.
I got some ideas.
So I think maybe I will talk to them because they always have good ideas. I don't know. But I brought it to our Discord, shout out, and I said, guys, I need help. What can I do with the Samurai multi-class? They did actually. They chimed in a lot, which was really fun. So if you got resources, use them. Jump up and message us. I don't know.
Yeah, type in the comments. Send us a Twitter message. Yeah. Send us an email. And that stuff. We'll gladly bounce off ideas. That's what we do best.
Our jurisdiction's like Pathfinder, D&D-ish. But if there's another system like Call of Cthulhu, it's pretty easy to make characters for that one.
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu is fun.
It's a lot of fun.
So this is number 5, and this actually kind of goes off what you were just saying.
Okay.
This is I'd say the hardest, the one to manage. Make something that will be fun. Not just for you, but for everyone at the table.
Yeah.
I think this is the toughest and most difficult part because, like I said before, how are you going to know something's fun until you actually try it?
Yeah.
It's impossible. I mean, you could look at something that looks like, Tome Lock looks like it'd be fun. But then you play it and it's just not quite click. Same with the Ranger. I want it to be good. It looks like it could be fun. And then you actually get into it and it's not.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of problem with D&D as well. Is
True.
Somebody said in the Pathfinder chat I was in, they were kind of shitting on 5e, and they said, you're not really a character until 3rd level. And I kind of agree with it.
That's why most campaigns either start at 3rd level or expedite levels 1 and 2.
Yeah, and if you do start at level 1 and 2, it's a lot of hope. You finally get to level 3 and you're like, I could do everything, but then really you're level 1.
Yeah.
And you feel underwhelmed. You're like, maybe it'll get better. It's like a bad relationship.
Mm-hmm. And you're hoping you don't die in every encounter that you get because you got 5 HP as the wizard. Yeah,
and maybe this isn't just 5e. Sorry, 5e. Sorry,
wizards. Pathfinder, you start off pretty squishy.
You do start pretty damn squishy. But you have some stuff under your belts, you know?
Yes, you do have stuff. Yeah, definitely. But it's, I think you're more likely to die in Pathfinder and D&D in the first 3 levels than any other level in either of those systems.
The type of player I'd give a warning to is the min-maxer. And you very much have a piece of my heart as well. But there are strategies out there that you should tell your players about, like the darkness, being able to see within magical darkness, and you just have an advantage on everything, but all of your friends don't have dark vision and they can't see shit. Yeah. It's like you're having a ball of a time inside of that darkness ball, but they not so much. So tell them maybe you've got that ability. If they're like, maybe don't do it.
Don't do that. Or
so that's an example of something that's not fun.
Extreme example. Yeah. I was thinking when you were talking about that as well, is there are also some combinations that are not looked most fondly upon by DMs and
coffee lock.
Coffee lock, yeah.
No, critical role.
Yeah, I'm sure they can handle it. Maybe if anyone can do it, Matthew Mercer can. I bet.
I'm just interested. And you said they let them start at a higher level because of multiclass.
Yes, they level 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. It's fun for maybe the one person that's getting to do it.
Yeah.
Same if you're bringing a third party class or something to your system, and all the other players are not as strong as this one player. Like you brought an ill-rigger into the campaign, and you just feel powerful, and everyone else at the table just feels not.
Yeah.
They feel like that's the main character, and you're all like secondary. So that's what I mean by it makes it fun for everybody as well. So if that happens, I mean it's possible to know if that's going to happen until you start playing, right?
Right.
So I think what you should do is just go into the game with an open mind, be okay to change and open to it if people aren't having fun or you aren't having fun, and be open to conversations. I mean, we've talked about this in Session Zero podcasts and stuff as well, but I think D&D, tabletop RPGs in general, people need to be okay with having talks. I saw a post on the D&D Next subreddit. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. The D&D Next subreddit that said people just talk to each other. Because there's so many posts of people like, how do I respond to this player that did this thing? How do I respond to my DM that's acting like this? If it's something really egregious, obviously just leave. But otherwise, just have a conversation and say, hey, I didn't like when you did this, pal. Hey, I didn't, then you'd be like, oh, and I'd say 9 times out of 10, the other person had no idea that what they did bothered people at the table.
Yeah.
So just talk to each other. Be okay with it. Obviously, you might not be friends with everybody. You might not know everybody well when you start playing. And it could be tough if you're an anxious person to have those conversations.
I mean, it's hard as fuck. You're in a very mild form of it, bringing up something about a person's character. Right. Not their character, but themselves. Yeah. You don't want to bother them. I totally understand it.
But it can solve a lot of problems.
It can solve the problem.
It can solve the problem.
It can solve the problem.
Or you can always vote to just kick that person out.
Just give them the boot. Well, no, Halo Infinite came out. What's the shape of Louisiana?
Yeah, the campaign's coming out soon.
The boot. The campaign? I don't know when. I don't know if they're going to charge $60 for it.
And they've already announced they are charging $60.
They're not?
They are.
Okay.
And they already announced that they're releasing a vinyl of the soundtrack.
You gonna buy it?
I don't know. I listened to the soundtrack.
Oh my god, it's.
Well, I hate when they release. This happens so often. I'm sorry. Quick rant. They release a pre-order for a vinyl for a soundtrack that hasn't even released yet. It's like I don't know if it's gonna be good.
They just give us your money before you can decide that you don't want it.
Yeah, I don't know if the composer is for this one. I don't think it's the same people the other
ones. Have you played it? Infinite.
Yeah,
we've played. Yeah,
we played it together.
Yeah. There's been a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's been a few weeks.
It's also been the holidays. Hope your Thanksgiving was good. I don't know if you're in the U.S. So the music's good. But
yeah,
it
the
sounds
music
like
is very good.
Typical band music-ish.
Yeah.
Or like No Man's Sky stuff.
Yes, that did sound pretty sick. It's not them though. I did check. It's not 65 Days of Static.
Okay.
But last thing I want to talk about here is I pulled up 2 resources. I should have mentioned them earlier when they fit into the archetypes conversation. There's 2 websites that I would recommend you go to if you're struggling with a concept for your character. The first one is whothefuckismydndcharacter.com. That's pretty helpful, right?
Yeah.
So it is quite vulgar, so maybe don't. It's not safe for work, definitely. But so I just opened the page, right, and this is what it said for me. Check this shit out. I'm going to be a fucking cold dragonborn rogue from the City of Lights who moonlights as a private investigator.
Is it just like a random generator?
Yeah, so if we don't like him, we click the button that says, I don't really give a fuck about that guy. Click the next one. All right, here we go. I'm going to Machiavellian halfling cleric from a slave-owning city who always needs to be the center of attention. We don't like that one either. Unpredictable dragonborn cleric from a forgotten elven monastery who unwittingly misuses words all the bloody time.
It's literally just like a text out of a book or something.
Yeah, it just gives you random ideas, quite vulgar.
You think your character is cool? My character is a fucking crabby human cleric. Oh, I know one of those. From a mid-level cult who is uncomfortable around old people. They smell like death.
True.
Okay.
So this is a great website. I'll try to include it in the description down below, but if I don't, just type in who the fuck is my D&D character, it'll come up.
Yeah.
It's really good. Just get quick idea. I even say DM's gonna have this pulled up to if they talk to a random NPC. So, oh shoot, I don't have anybody prepared. Okay, this is a courageous dragonborn. You kind of get a very quick picture of what this character is gonna be like.
Okay.
The other one is a little less exciting, but it's this one I definitely include because it's the long one. It's tvtropes.org. There's a lot of other stuff there, but it gives you a huge list. I can just show Braxton here. Look at this huge list.
My word.
Of tropes. I mean, if you don't know what trope is, it's like the I don't know, the character that is born in the wrong century, or the isekai is almost like a trope, someone that's traveling through time and from a different dimension kind of stuff. And this includes so many different tropes and can give you an idea of like, okay, I want to be the elective unintelligible who chooses to be unintelligible for certain parts or certain instances. And it gives you examples, and it's really cool to get ideas. And again, DMs could use it for NPCs as well.
Yeah. Tropes, otherwise interchangeably used with the word cliche.
Yes. And again, it's probably not a great place to make your whole character.
Yeah, it's a good place to start.
But it's a good place to start. Yeah.
But I will say, some of the live plays, and that's a different situation, or like specifically the Adventure Zone, where they played up more like a TV show. You've got Taco. Literally, his whole shtick in the first half of it is that he's a wizard named Taco with 2 A's and a K. And he makes like chalupas, and
That's yummy.
I don't know, he's a funny dude. And he's just Taco. He talks like that. That's it. That's all it is. Sometimes it can be really simple. Just talk to yourself in the car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Find
the other
so
voice inside
silly.
your head, pull them out, and play them as a D&D character, or a Pathfinder character, or a Call of Cthulhu character, which I love making characters Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, that
I wanna play more
you made
modern
it like
settings.
what, 4 different times. So.
Oh my god, that website was not fun. I will say that
There's
website
no
was not
D&D
fun.
Beyond, that's for sure.
No, somebody in our Discord actually said that now that they've started using Forge or Foundry more,
yeah.
they find D&D Beyond more and more useless. And I was so fired up. I'm like, what do you mean? It's literally there's no virtual tabletop in D&D Beyond.
Yes, it's definitely very different.
Nobody can just get on to Forge on their phone and pull up the info that they need. It's totally different.
It's like and I think you can do this in what's the other stupid system that we covered? The really expensive ones on Steam.
Isn't it it's Foundry?
No, I
don't remember.
let me type in famous TTRPGs. Oh, not TT. What am I doing?
Virtual tabletops.
CTTs.
Yeah.
Fantasy Grounds. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh
of.
yeah, I didn't even
Fantasy
think about that
Grounds. Very dated looking, but it's kind of like Foundry, very kind of all encompassing product. But yeah, it's D&D Beyond. I think is kind of in its own sphere. Because I mean, I guess the problem is if you buy books on there. I think Foundry, because it's people run, I think you can get a lot of it free.
You can.
Which
that
is
does worry me.
good. I don't know if WotC allows that.
Got almost all the books on D&D Beyond now at this point.
Yeah, so once you do that, you're kind of stuck in. Like that's how I was when I was buying all the physical copies. That's what our friend Kenneth, he buys all the physical copies, and now I feel like even though he is pretty adamant against his love for D&D right now, he's not very happy with the system.
He's been talking to you about that?
No, that's just how he always is.
Yeah, he usually is that.
But he still goes out and buys the book every time because I feel like he needs to now.
If you're missing out, it's like you making fun of me playing Genshin Impact.
It's the nice
same
one.
thing.
It's the pretty one, the alternative cover, man.
That's true. That is always good. Very, very good. Matte cover feels nice.
It at least looks good. Even if what the continent side's not good, you can put it on your shelf, which he does, and it looks great to have them.
And then when you
all
move,
online.
you're like, fuck, why do I have all these
my
books?
God,
How do we get rid of them? We have to
that's
take
how I
them.
felt whenever
Can't, no, we need to throw them. Well, Jamie would never say that.
I moved my vinyl, it not feel good to move all that crap.
We're going to have to do it one day.
I know. And I have
One
more.
day. You can just hire movers if you trust them.
Could.
My sister did it. They said they were not the most organized, but happened pretty quickly. So I think that's all in a nutshell. Like, we're not getting into mechanics because then it's going to be per whatever system you're doing.
Yeah, that was our last episode. This is system agnostic. I guess. No, I'd say this is not even fantasy specific. This work for anything, really. Yeah. Just think of your character.
Yeah, get in their head.
And this is, I would even say, pretty role play light as well. If you're not really an actor, you can still cover a lot of this stuff without getting super into your character.
One warning I will get about
Go
the
for it.
what does my character want thing is don't don't aggro it too hard.
Oh yeah.
Because then you can end up ignoring like everything else, and you're just like, oh, my leg, oh, it's broken. Oh, there's a penny on the ground. I really, well, that's actually pretty fucking funny. But you get what I'm saying. Like maybe there's a point in the story that you really need to pay attention to your fellow players, but you're just so hard going in on these things. You got to touch everything.
Make it more of a passive one, I guess. I would say that you would be happy if it happened, but maybe you're not like actively like searching for like a kidnapped person. Yeah. Like The Witcher kind of thing, or like Fallout, you're looking for your missing father or something, and you're like, if that were real life, I would be running past everything to get there. But in the game, like, oh, side quest. Okay, let me go pick up these caps real fast.
By the way, have you seen my dad? No, my Sean. Dad's that's Fallout 3. Fallout 4 is Sean.
Yes. Now I'm thinking about Jason from Heavy Rain. You ever play that game? Yeah. Jason. Jason. I love that game.
Why? It's a glitch though, right?
No, it's just you. It's just him yelling for his kid.
Jason!
You're looking for him in a mall. He's just running around.
Give me a nerve.
Very sad.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Holy shit.
But that's our topic for today.
We got a mini one.
Before we close out, I do want to cover, now this is going to be spoilers for that don't want to check out the new Strixhaven book that's coming out next week, which we will hopefully be able to review in time.
So before you get out, social media at Dungeon Crawl Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We jump on there kind of every now and again. I made a post thanking everybody for everything over the past few years. Thanksgiving. I love you guys. Awesome. Great. The Dungeon Crawl Pod. Also, we have a Discord. You can click on the link in the description, join that. We have some games that are going on right now, and they're actually having a hard time getting them started. We need more people to get in there and hang out with us, learn and meet and greet.
It's that time of the year, unfortunately.
It is that time of the year. So get back in New Year's, and maybe we'll have some new games coming on. We'd love to have you after we get to know you a little bit. Also, we have an email, thedungeoncrawlpod@gmail.com. That's all I need to say about that. And Patreon as well before we get in there, Crispos and whatnot. We do have lovely patrons. I think like one of them right now. So thank you very much. As we scroll up on the screen, if you ever feel the need to support us, you're more than welcome to do so. It helps us make things look better, sound better, and continue doing this without, dying.
And we will be putting more things on there once we get our live play going back up. And make sure you rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out.
Strixhaven spoilers, get out of here.
Yeah, so if you don't want any spoilers, all we're going to be talking about is what's, I don't know if it's a leak, I guess it is, that the contents, the table of contents page came out 6 days ago. I did not even know that this happened. So 6 days ago, and this happens every year, or every release. Someone gets the book early, takes a picture, and sends it out to everybody.
It's got to be on purpose.
So this is interesting. Makes me intrigued, right? It's 224 pages.
Oh, that's small.
There are 7 chapters in it. The first 2 chapters are laying out the campus and what's going to be in the campus, putting out the different the colleges, the Lorehold, Prismari, Quandrix, Silverquill. Yeah, I'm a Witherbloom kind of guy.
Moody bastard.
And it's got the feats, spells, magic items, all that stuff. And I have heard some interesting comments on silvery barbs. We'll probably cover more in detail next time. So I heard some hearsay. I want to make sure I get the full picture of the book when we get it. And then the rest of the book is surprisingly all DM stuff, which I guess we're supposed to be expected. Chapters 3 through 7. And it looks like, from my understanding, that chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6 could be a continuous adventure. Because it says at the end of each one, at the end of each one, it says advance to level blank. Advance to level 6. Okay. Advance level 5. Oh, it says that throughout the chapter. Advance level 5, advance level 4, advance level 8. So it looks like it's going to take you all the way through level 10. So levels 1 through 10, I imagine. Or levels 1 through 10.
That's sizable.
There's different adventures. So I imagine you could just kind of plop one out, put it in your world. Or you can just run through the whole thing. I did see, and I was talking to the Brannigan about this earlier, that they also posted small little details about inside the book, and it looks very much as going to be very hard to take this outside of a campus or Strixhaven setting, which I think it's okay to have a campus you
can place it setting in a world, and then when you hit level 10, then you start a level 10 to 20 campaign.
Yeah, the players would just have to work inside the campus, or because they have a exam system. They have what happens if you're studying all night, if you are studying with a friend, if you decide not to study, period. Yeah, it's very interesting. They have
So it's a lot of downtime stuff.
yes, they have a lot of extracurriculars in here. I almost feel like you could run like a homebrew Harry Potter campaign with this type stuff.
They took inspiration from it.
They have a guild. They have different guilds here. That I will say, if this is what the entirety of the guild is, holy moly, they should have taken inspiration from the other Magic set that they did. Ravnica, the Ravnica book, because those are full-on guilds. Granted, they're like little mini cities in a way.
Yeah.
But the guild says here, live action role-playing guild, skills, animal handling, performance, member, random members, and then they have one sentence explaining what the guild is, and they move on to the next one.
Interesting. They did get rid of those subclasses that they had that were kind of agnostic between anybody. You could take them no matter
Let me
which
see
way you
what
did. A little disappointed because those are always my favorite parts of these books.
Yeah, I think they mix those into the backgrounds now in a way.
That makes sense.
Because they do have all the backgrounds here of each area.
Okay.
That's what I imagine. I don't know what the backgrounds look like, of course, because I don't have the book. I thought there was one other thing. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how this will look. Those are just the extracurriculars that I looked at, so there might be more to it. I'm interested. I don't think I couldn't see myself ever actually using this stuff in my world because I don't know if my players would be like, yeah, let's go spend a whole campaign
It's kind of like
school.
the book place, you know?
Oh, Candlekeep?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if my players ever decided to go to a arcane college, I could steal from this and be like, all right, this is what my campaign, my world is like. Are we going to play through any of this stuff? Probably not. But I can at least get inspiration from like chapter 1.
Yeah. Woo! Don't do that.
I didn't say chapter 7 though is 40 different monsters, so that's cool.
Monsters are good. It does kind of suck. That is where I'll say it. Like 5e, there's so many monsters and so many different things. I just want a monster compendium, which the kind of
and you know that this is going to very heavily impact our view on what these new spells as feats and features are going to be.
Yeah, the more and more they make monsters that have spells or would have spells. Yes, he's right. The closer we get to new 5e or new sixth edition, essentially, is what it would be. Very good point. I don't know. I'm not as excited about it.
Yeah, we got first year student in here as a creature. Inkling mascot.
Ooh,
there you go. Lorehold apprentice, mage hunter. Relic Sloth, Strixhaven Campus Guide.
Speaking of Inkling, so these aren't even real monsters, they're just filler for this. It'd be hard to maybe use them outside.
Pest Mascot. Oh.
Yeah, actually, you can just remove the name tag. I don't see it that often. Right. So, speaking of Inkling, Inkling got buffed.
Really?
Big time. And Smash.
So since they have stopped releasing characters, right? Do you think they've been doing more balance changes?
They just did.
Oh.
A lot of balance, like Donkey Kong got some stuff. Mega Man got some stuff.
That makes me think of Tekken a little bit. Because they still release characters, but they do a lot of balance changes to mix things up.
Yeah, just like Strive kind of does. I've been playing a little bit of Strive.
Yeah, Strive does that as well.
Somebody, one of my friends messaged me and said, hey, you need to see the patch notes for Smash. So I was like, what, did Inkling get a buff? They go, yeah. I was like, because that's literally the only reason somebody would mention that to me. It's just like stuff like up tilt stronger and leads into itself better. Forward tilt does more damage and knocks farther. So I'm interested to see what it is. The neutral B, the squirt gun, it shoots like more than halfway across the stage now.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I don't know why, but hey, if you're making your character, you have them be busted, round it out. There you go. Good shit. I guess that's where we stopped. We did our stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It feels weird.
Weird.
I will say, because we're kind of shitting on 5e monsters. I don't know if this just came out. I might be wrong, but I just saw someone mention this on the old Twitterverse. And I recommend checking it out because it is badass. Okay, no, it's about a year old. I apologize. But it's called Total Party Kill Bestiary, Volume 2. And it is, if you're missing the old monster manuals from way back when, like 4th edition and stuff, where they like really went into detail on what the monsters eat. Actually, if you like the Pathfinder monster manuals, then this is your cup of tea.
Okay.
It is $24 on their website.
Hey, that's not too big. Anything that's under 30, I'm like, hey.
And it's 264 pages.
Damn.
I have lots of sick monsters. Actually, I'd say probably closer to 278. Each monster gets about 10 pages.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So they go in depth, and it looks really cool. It's got great artwork. Let me show Braxton a little picture. That's the Bone Splinter. Look at that, huh?
Holy,
I don't know what I'm looking at. That looks sick.
what the fuck?
But it's got plot hooks in there, treasure that this creature might have. Very cool.
Damn, son. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover it. We've been talking about doing some third-party stuff on the podcast. Maybe we'll cover some third-party stuff at some point in our lives.
Maybe. I don't know.
But until then,
as always, he's been Ryan.
He's been Braxton.
This is the Dungeon Crawl. Thanks for calling with us.
We'll see you next week for Strixhaven, baby.
And then in a couple episodes, we'll see you next year. I can't wait to say that.
Oh, wow. Wonder what we're going to do. We might do another...
Oh, shit. We did, didn't we? Doesn't ever do well, though.
Oh, like a best
But that's just kind of for us, though, you know?
Yeah, that could be fun. We didn't do one last year, did we?
Maybe not.
I can't remember. We did one. I know because I was scrolling through episodes after I forgot that we did the character creation one. We did a best of 2019 episode where we were talking about our favorite books and movies and shows. That could be fun to chat about.
Let me see, Buzzsprouts. What else we got?
The 2020 was kind of a...
Are you still crawling with us? Hold on. Keep crawling for a second.
Yeah, keep crawling.
Keep crawling for a second.
Getting dirty now.
Best class for Rifle. Whoa, that was fun. That was a good one. We still have best D&D Kickstarters. If two of you could go watch that right now, it'd be real cool. Just mention that.
on Spotify or on Buzzsprout, not Buzzsprout, on our audio anyway.
Yeah,
not on YouTube.
Then best of 2019. If one of you could go watch, that'd be real cool. We're right there.
Really, we're that close.
Yep.
To hitting
every
over
episode
100.
at 100. Some of them are like 300 now, which is cool.
And we didn't do a best of 2020, did we?
We didn't.
That was a sad year.
It was. What did we do on around then? I'm kind of curious. 2021, January 20.
Oh, we did the best game and tabletop releases of 2020. Okay. We just called it different.
Yeah, we did. So we did do it. I don't know what we'll do this year.
We do something similar. It seems like it'd be a tradition at this point.
I guess. Oh, it'd be fun.
Once you do it at least 3 times as a tradition.
You better watch it. I don't know. All right, you can stop crawling. Get off your hands and knees. Get out of here.
Love you.
See you guys next time.
Are we done?